Shalom, this is Levi Shore. Welcome back to Sweet Good Torah. So we're going to learn an amazing Parsha today, Lech Lecha, and we're going to talk about the man that changed the whole history of the world with Chesed, with kindness. And who is that? It's Avraham Avinu, Abraham our father. It's a beautiful fall day here. It's really sunny and cool, and so we're going to learn about this amazing man and kindness and Chesed. So the world was on a downward spiral from Adam Arishon, from Adam, until Noach and the great flood. 10 generations from Adam until Noach, and the world was on a downward path, and Hashem Chas v'Shalom had to bring this flood, and then he started the world anew with Noach. And then once again we saw the downward spiral from Noach until his descendant Terach. And once again the world was on this downward spiral, and we saw the world united against Hashem at the Tower of Babel, the Tower of Babel, the Migdal Babel, 100 years after the flood, and the whole world united against Hashem. And this king rose up, Nimrod, who used the fear of the flood to get people to rule over everyone else in the world, to build his own empire. And only one man who was 48 at the time, Avraham Avinu, he stood up against this. He stood up against this united world, these united nations. He stood up against these united nations that were uniting against Hashem. And he started a new path for mankind that would lead back to Hashem, and to the Torah and the mitzvos, and eventually to the coming of Mashiach. Now also there's other men that stood with him. There was Shem, the son of Noach, Shem's great-grandson, Aver, and then Shem and Aver, who also themselves founded the yeshiva. They convinced Shem's son Ashur, who founded the Assyrian Empire, to also leave this tower, this Migdal Bavel, the Tower of Babel. Now Avraham, or Avram, as he was known at the time, he stood up against Nimrod, and his father Terach sold idols. He was the royal idol maker, so he's very wealthy, and he sold idols to Nimrod and all his royal court. But Avraham saw the foolishness of this avodah zarah, like people bowing down to these gold and silver statues that could not speak, that cannot talk, that cannot listen, they can't move. How can they help you? They can't even help themselves. So Avraham saw the foolishness of all this avodah zarah. And he looked into the world, and he saw that it can't be the sun. The sun can't be God, because the sun sets. And the moon can't be God, because the moon also, sets. It goes away. And the wind comes and goes. And he saw all these parts of nature, but he saw that there must be one infinite being directing them all. And he discovered by himself, some of the Mefarshim and the Midrashim say when he was even 3 years old, he discovered that it was Hashem alone, one infinite being that controls, that created and runs the world. And so Avraham set his path in life, that he was going to serve Hashem, he was going to be an Eved Hashem, and he was going to try to bring the world away from this immorality and this selfish behavior towards each other, and he was going to start a path to a world. So Avraham, he began the battle against the immorality of his days by kindness. And him and his wife Sarah, what they did is they would set up a tent that was open on 4 sides. And when travelers would come, they would bring them into the tent, and they would offer them this luxurious meal, all kinds of delicacies and gourmet foods and all this delicious meal. And he would present a bill, and he would say, here's your bill for the food, and the bill would be high for all the amazing food that the travelers had just eaten. But he says, listen, I will give you all this food for free if you just say a bracha, if you just say a blessing, and thank Hashem that created all this for us, all this food for us. If you just say a simple bracha, a blessing, to thank Hashem, I would give it all to you for free. And through this kindness, through this chesed, Avraham and Sarah began to take on students. And they began to start to teach that it is Hashem that created the world, and that Hashem is the one that sustains it. And Hashem is great kindness for everyone, and this is the way he wants us to act, with kindness and generosity and rachamim on each other. And Avraham started to teach this lesson with kindness and hospitality. And then he merited to become the Av Hamon Goyim. He became the father of a multitude of nations. And it's amazing because we see the whole state of the world right now is all Avraham's descendants. It's incredible. The current geopolitical struggles of the world are all Avraham's descendants. We see through his grandson Esav's children created the religion of Christianity, which has over 1 billion followers. And through his son Yishmael, the sons of Yishmael founded the religion of Islam, once again with over 1 billion followers. And then after Sarah was nifter, after she passed away, Avraham remarried a woman named Keturah. And some of Chazal says it may have been Hagar, the Egyptian princess that was the mother of Yishmael, that he remarried her, and she did teshuvah. So she was either another woman named Keturah, or it was Hagar who was done teshuvah. And anyway, they had some more children, and he sent these children with gifts to the east. And you can see in the origins of Hinduism that so you can see that Hinduism was founded by the sons, even though maybe the teachings of Abraham are corrupted, but Hinduism was founded by the children of Abraham and Keturah, and then out of Hinduism became Buddhism. And these are the major religions of the world right now. But Abraham started a family. He gave birth, him and Sarah, at the age of 100. He was 100 and Sarah was 90, miraculously gave birth to Yitzhak. And Yitzhak gave birth to Yaakov. And Yaakov also was named Yisrael, Israel, by Hashem. And it started the Jewish people. And it started an amazing struggle to teach the world of the Torah of Hashem, the Torah, the blueprint of all creation, and to teach mankind the mitzvot, and how through kindness to each other, and hospitality and compassion for each other, then we can make this world back into the Gan Eden, the Garden of Eden. So there's 4 empires that actually fight against this goal of Abraham, that Abraham fought in his lifetime and that the Jewish people have fought all through the history. So the very first time we learn about these 4 empires is the second pasuk in the Torah, right after Bereshis bar Elokim, right after Hashem created the heavens and the earth. The very next pasuk is Ve'es ha'aretz haisa sohu vavohu, and the earth, it was chaos and emptiness. Ve'choshek al panei sechom, and there was a darkness upon the surface of the deep waters. Ve'ruach Elokim merachefes al panei hamayim, and the spirit of Elokim was hovering above the face of the waters. So right here is the 4 empires. So we learn that Tohu is Bavel, is the Babylonian Empire, and Vohu is the empire of Paras and Madai, Persia and Media. And then Choshek is Yavan, is the Greek Empire. And then Tehom, the deep, deep darkness, is the longest reigning empire so far in this world, is the Roman Empire. And then the Ruach Elokim Rachefes, the Spirit of Hashem that was hovering, that's Mashiach. And that's Mashiach come to establish, in Yemos Mashiach, the kingdom of Hashem. So we see this in other places. We see Avraham in this Parsha, he's going to fight in a war of the 4 kings, representing one representative of each of these 4 empires against the 5 kings of the west. So the 4 kings of the east representing these 4 empires. We see it also in the Tanakh. We see Nebuchadnezzar, the very first king of Bavel, of Babylon, who was going to start these 4 empires. He was given a dream by Hashem, and it was interpreted by Daniel. And the dream was of a statue of a gold head of Bavel, of Babylon, the silver arms of Paras, of Persia, the copper stomach of Greece, and the iron legs, and the earthenware and iron toes that were crumbling of Rome. And we also see that Daniel also had a vision, but he envisioned these 4 empires as these terrifying beasts. So these are the 4 visions. Now, after Avraham fought in this war of the 4 and the 5 kings, Hashem made the bris with him. This is when Hashem was going to make the covenant with Avraham. And it's an amazing thing that Hashem saw this man, this amazing man, Avraham, that was changing the whole world back to what Hashem intended the world to be. And Hashem made a bris with him. He made a covenant. And the amazing thing is, Avraham was born in the Hebrew year of 1948. And when he was 70 years old in 2018, it's pretty interesting, on Pesach, on Passover of 2018 of the Hebrew calendar, Hashem made this bris with him. So this is what Avraham asked of Hashem. He said, Vayomer Hashem Elokim. And he said, Hashem Elokim. And Avraham was the first one to call Hashem Adon, the master. And Avraham was the first to serve him as the Eved, the servant. And he says, Bama Edeh, how will I know, Ki Arishena, that I will inherit the land that you promised me and you promised to my children? How am I going to know that I'm going to inherit Eretz Yisrael? And we see all throughout history the battles, all for the land of Israel. And I think it's been conquered like by 36 times or some incredible amount of times. And we see the contention in the United Nations now, and everyone disputes the Jewish people's right to the land of Israel. And Avraham was asking that, how do I know that my children are going to merit? How am I going to know they're going to merit that you'll fulfill this promise to give them the land of Israel? Like how will I know? Like maybe they're going to not uphold the Torah and the mitzvos, the way you want. So this is Hashem's answer. It's very interesting. He says, Kachli egla, take for me 3 calves, mishuleshes. Take 3 calves. Ve'ez mishuleshes, and 3 goats. Ve'ayo mishulash, and 3 rams. And then Vator, and a turtle dove, then a gozal, and a young dove. And then Avraham did it. He took these animals, and he cut up the animals, but not the birds. And then Hashem passed a flame down the center of these cut up animals. And this is how people used to make a covenant. This is how people used to make a bris in the ancient world. And these 3 animals, the 3 young bulls and the 3 goats and the 3 rams, represent the first of the 3 of the empires. They represent Babylon and Persia and Greece. And Hashem cut them up to weaken them and showed Avraham that they would eventually be defeated. And these animals also represent the korbanos, the different offerings that we would offer in the Beis HaMikdash, in the temple, and that we would build merit to receive, the land of Eretz Yisrael from Hashem, and that we would uphold this bris, this covenant with Hashem. So there's 3 sets of animals: the 3 young calves, and the 3 goats, and the 3 rams. Represents Babylon, Persia, and Greece. Now I think this, and then this is what happens. This is let me see if I can find it real quick. And then Hashem sent a flame down the center to make the bris, to make the covenant. And then all of a sudden, Vayered ha'ayit, and this bird of prey, or birds of prey, came al ha'pegarim, upon these cut up animals. Vayeshev osam Avram. And then Avram, as he was known, and then he became Avraham, he drove them away. Now, the Mefarshim said a lot of different things about what is this bird of prey. But I think since we have 3 calves, 3 goats, 3 rams, I think they represent the first of the 3 empires. And I believe the bird of prey that's trying to destroy this bris represents the Nesher, the eagle, the symbol of Edom, the symbol of Rome, who is the 4th empire, coming to try to break up this bris, because he claimed that this was his birthright. And I believe, even though I did not see this in the Mefarshim, I believe this is one of the meanings of this ayat. This bird of prey is Rome. And then Avraham chases it away. So the Roman exile has been very long. It's been 2017 years now. We're heading into the 2018th year of the Roman exile. But we're also heading in, and we're in the special year, 2018, that we're heading into, and we're in 5778. We're heading into the very year itself when Avraham made the bris with Hashem. So may we see the coming of Mashiach and the final destruction of these 4 empires and the establishment of the empire of Mashiach, who's going to bring knowledge of Hashem and Hashem's Torah and his mitzvos to all the world, and it'll become a world that can live in peace with each other, and it'll just be a world of Chesed, of kindness that Avraham started. So let's all act like Avraham. Let's invite guests into our home for Shabbos meals, and let's be kind to our family and our friends, and let's help Avraham create this world. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope to see you back again soon on Sweet and Good Torah. Thank you.